Sunday, April 6th. Hi, it's 12:50. Sunday, April 6th. Hi, it's 12:57 p.m. Sunday, April 6th, 2025. Out in the world where I am ShanteyJ. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I said I wasn't going to say anything. But I also said, if you can I ask you a question? Of course you can ask me a question. But whatever question you do ask, I'm going to have to answer it publicly. And the reason I do that, because just because you ask a question doesn't mean you're the only person who's it crossed their mind. They noticed, they were wondering, something like that. So I said, you know what? I said I wasn't going to say nothing. And there was a reason for it. Sometimes I just want to keep my mouth shut, but God just won't let me. You know what? And for somebody that always got an opinion, sometimes when I do, it's more of a blessing than a curse. You know what? But since you asked, amen, I'm going to answer your question. Why won't I talk about Mr. Luigi Mangione? Now keep in mind, I'm in Baltimore. I'm not in Los Angeles anymore. I'm not in California anymore. Oh, yeah, in Baltimore. This way people from. You know what? So Mr. Luigi Mangione, why won't I talk about him? I just wasn't. I said I had just started on social media. I had no idea exactly what I wanted to do. I don't even know, matter of factly, what platform I want to be on, or social. I know that I want to do something as far as social networking. Whether I find myself on Facebook, I don't know. Instagram might, but there's a lot of social networking platforms out there. I can't tell you how I know. Back when I was trying to be Miss O&N Times Hour News Now with Shantey Jeffers, I was doing my research, lots of research. So if I talked about you, you knew about it. It may not have been to your face, but it wasn't necessarily behind your back either. You know what? So if I see something, you know, on the news or I'm scrolling on social media, and something gets my attention, then I do my own research. I take my notes and I write an article. It says I'm here in the United States. You can be anywhere in the world, anywhere. And if I write about you, then what am I going to do? I'm going to post it on your social network, so that the people that I'm writing about, will be able to see. So anyway, so I'm not necessarily sure about that. But then Mr. Luigi Mangione. The most recently we're talking about McDonald's and cups and wrappers. You know what? And DNA evidence. Mr. Mangione, his legal team, who is also the same legal team as Mr. Sean Combs. I said on here, I wouldn't call him Puffy, I wouldn't call him Diddy, I wouldn't call him Puff Daddy, I wouldn't call him Daddy. I heard, and one that I didn't know about till I was watching a friend of his, somebody claimed to know him talking about Mr. Brother Love. No, I wasn't gonna call him none of those names. Sean Combs and Mr. Luigi Mangione both have the same represented by the same law firm. So anyway, so in all things McDonald's, Mickey D's, and DNA, for some of the people, I said, you know what? I said I wasn't going to say nothing. No, really, I wasn't going to say nothing. This is one of those things where I really wasn't. I wasn't going to say nothing. I was just going to watch. You know what? But since you insist, you know what? Why wouldn't I say anything? So we're talking about all things DNA evidence. I'm just going to say this one thing. So I don't know if you saw the video yet. I said, you know what? I have on a gray hoodie, and I'm sitting outside. I'm over in LA, and I'm talking about this. This is that topic, Mr. Luigi Mangione. You know what? Bless his heart. All things Mickey D's, and all things DNA evidence. I don't know if you happen to see the video. I said, because it said, Mr. Where's Luigi? It was just like that. He was around, and then he wasn't. You know what? His family put out a missing person, reported him missing. He was gone for 2 months. Where's Luigi? You know, all of a sudden, Mr. Mangione shows up. All places, no, in New York. Now, if he wasn't famous when he went to New York, he was definitely famous when he left. You know what? And I guess that is this. So, Mr. Mangione, there was a video. Oh, they got him on video. Mr. Mangione, you know what? Hoodie and all, despite the hoodie, because you can see the video. This is the video of Mr. Luigi Mangione. You really don't see his face that clear. No, I'm not talking about when he was at the Airbnb or the hostel. What's it called? The hostel. And a young lady thought he was cute, and they got him on the camera because he took his mask off. so he could smile. You know what? Because the young lady said, I bet she had a cute smile. And bless her soul, he took his mask off. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the incident that occurred outside of this building between Mr. Luigi Maglione and one Mr. Brian Thompson of United Healthcare. So Mr. Maglione, if he wasn't famous when he went to New York, he definitely was when he left. He shot him early in the morning. Shot him, and he was a good Samaritan about it. Evidently, he showed up. He knew exactly where Mr. Brian Thompson was going to be. Someone else was there. He had the other person move out of the way. Because I'm like, right? So you have to see the video. You see him, and then Mr. Brian Thompson, then somebody else, and the other person moved out of the way. He let the other person leave, and he shot Mr. Brian Thompson. Looks like 3 times. So, but anyway, I was like, you know what? I'm trying to be fair. Because it's a lot going on in the world. Some of us are more aware than others. I say, the young man, bless his heart, I know a little bit about him. He's educated. I can't talk about things like that. We're going to say he was around, and then he wasn't. Then he shows up in New York. So from my understanding, he was gone for like 2 months, a whole 2 months. And then what happened to this young man in the 2 months? He seems to be a well-rounded young man. He definitely believed in education, knowledge, wisdom, all that. And then I guess he kept going to school, pursuing his education. He ended up in Hawaii, living in an adult dorm, and living his best life, happy as hell, it looks like, with the pictures that I've seen online. And then all of a sudden, where's Luigi? And Luigi, gone for 2 months, his family had concerns. He shows up in New York just in time, the right place and the right time. As one the late Mr. Brian Thompson of United Healthcare. What in the hell happened? Am I the one person to be wondering that? I'm thinking, well, because it's obvious that the young man did it. He definitely showed up there, and he definitely killed him, and he definitely planned everything down to his escape. He left his bike in his backpack in, what is it? Not Times Square, the big park, Central Park, right? So everything was definitely well thought out and well planned. But I see this young man, based upon how they're presenting him online, what was his influence? That's what I want. I'm not questioning whether or not the young man did it. He definitely showed up in New York with malice and forethought and shot Mr. Brian Thompson in broad daylight in front of witnesses. He definitely did it, And so I'm like, well, what happened? Is this young man on some type of influence? And then I come to find out they're trying to base it upon this book that's published back in 2010. I had everything written down, but I don't feel like pulling anything out of my bag right now. By Mr. J. Feinman, so something like that. Because prior to the incident in New York, there's a woman in Miami that pursued someone else in the same way that he pursued Mr. Thompson, but unsuccessfully, thank God. And so evidently sometimes something is going on. They're trying to use this book as a reference to the behavior or recent actions of this one young man, Mr. Maglione, as well as a young lady down in Miami, if I'm not mistaken, and specifically targeting in reference to healthcare officials, with those of the healthcare industry. But what I'm listening, it seems more like it's not about the healthcare, because I was like, remember there's a movie back in the day. If you saw it, then you'll remember it, because it's definitely, I hate to say pull at the heartstrings, because that seems like almost insensitive. There's one young lady, and she ended up dying because she couldn't get access to health care. The insurance company kept denying the claim. But it seems more like people are more so concerned with how much the salaries are of specifically of CEOs of these multi-billion-dollar companies. That's what it seems like. So while a regular person to focus, I'm seeing this young man. What the hell happened? What happened in those 2 months that he goes from a regular person to not have to depose, delay, something like that, in New York, and guns down on Mr. Brian Thompson of United Healthcare. So there, in my opinion, not that my opinion matters much, they'd been better off trying to convince us that something was wrong with that young man, or he was under some type of influence, because he definitely did it. So as a regular person, when I started hearing things like DNA evidence, would the DNA evidence really matter? Because if you see the video, he was never in any physical contact with Mr. Brian Thompson. He shot him, so there was distance. I don't know. I guess from what I see on 10 feet, maybe. So, you know, I don't understand how his DNA would be important anyhow, but evidently that's what the focus seems to be. So now, I think that they are trying. He went to court. He put in this plea. He said not guilty. Amen. Now remember, sometimes, long ago, sometimes people don't always say things the way that you like, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's a lie, not the truth, right? They say if a picture is worth 1,000 words, then a video is worth 1,000,000. Not in this case, not in the case of Mr. Luigi Maglione and Brian Thompson. Anyway, I am ShanteyJ. Good afternoon.